They say power is loud, but true power is silent. It doesn't shout, it watches, it studies, and it waits. Most people walk into a room trying to be noticed. The predator walks in trying to notice, because real control doesn't come from dominance, it comes from understanding. Every movement you make, every hesitation in your breath, every flicker in your eyes, it all reveals the story you never meant to tell. And those who can read that story own you before you even speak. Humans are predictable. We're emotional machines pretending to be logical. We leak truth through micro-expressions, tone, and silence. And the one who sees those leaks controls the conversation without saying a word. The predator knows this. That's why they don't rush. They observe. They look at your eyes first, not to intimidate, but to measure rhythm. How long do you hold eye contact? Too long means you're trying to dominate. Too short means you're hiding something. The predator doesn't stare, they scan. Calm, effortless, detached. They notice your breathing. Fast breathing means emotional arousal, fear, excitement, attraction. Slow breathing means control. But if your breath pauses mid-sentence, that's where truth hides. That's where the body betrays the mind. When you speak, they listen to your pauses, not your words. Because truth doesn't live in language, it lives between it. The predator lets silence stretch until you fill it, because silence makes the untrained nervous, and nervous people reveal themselves. This is the psychology of silent power, the art of decoding without touching, of seeing without showing. It's not about manipulation, it's about awareness. Because once you see the strings behind people's actions, you stop being their puppet. Every person you meet broadcasts their inner world through 3 frequencies: body, tone, and timing. The body speaks first. When someone faces you directly, they're open, or pretending to be. When their feet point away, their body wants escape. When they cross their arms, it's not always defense. Sometimes it's comfort, a subconscious hug against pressure. But predators don't assume. They calibrate. They watch patterns. They see what changes. Because truth isn't in one gesture. It's in the shift. The tone is the emotional frequency. We reveal emotion long before we choose words. A tremor means tension. A low, steady voice means confidence or control. But a sudden drop in pitch, a whisper, that's the moment the subconscious takes over. Then there's timing. Most people speak too fast when they lie, as if they're outrunning guilt. Predators slow down. They let their words breathe. Each pause like a scalpel cutting into the other person's nerves. Time becomes a weapon. Because whoever controls pace controls emotion. Reading people isn't about tricks. It's about stillness. Stillness sharpens perception. The quieter you become, the more you hear what others don't say. When you stop reacting, you start observing. When you stop needing to speak, you start seeing who really does. And the truth is, most people expose themselves in the first minute. They'll tell you what they value by what they criticize. They'll show you what they fear by what they joke about. They'll reveal their wounds by who they defend. All you have to do is watch. The predator doesn't just read people, they read patterns. They know that anger often hides fear. That arrogance is usually insecurity in disguise. That kindness, when excessive, is often the armor of someone who's been broken before. They look past behavior and search for motive. Because behavior can be faked. Motive can't. That's why predators never ask what someone did. They ask why they needed to. Control isn't about words or status. It's about composure. The ability to remain still while others reveal themselves in noise. Imagine two people arguing. One is loud, emotional, desperate to prove they're right. The other is silent, calm, unbothered. Who feels like the threat? The silent one. Because emotion exposes weakness. Calmness breeds mystery, and mystery breeds power. You see, silence is not the absence of sound, it's the presence of control. The best readers of people don't stare, they absorb. They let their subconscious process micro-signals. The half-second facial flickers that betray real emotion. Surprise, fear, contempt, desire. It's called micro-expression reading. Most people miss it. But predators train their eyes to notice the flicker before the mask returns. You say, "I'm fine," but your lip tightens. That's anger. Your eyes flick sideways. That's avoidance. Your tone flattens. That's withdrawal. And once someone sees the pattern behind your "I'm fine," you're transparent to them forever. But predators don't just read others. They read themselves. They study their own reactions, their own tells, because self-awareness is the highest form of control. The real danger isn't someone who reads people. It's someone who reads themselves first. They know when their ego speaks. They know when their fear tries to answer instead of their logic. They catch their impulses before the world does. That's how they stay unpredictable and unreadable. When you master your reactions, you become untouchable, because the world feeds off reactions, and you no longer feed them. Reading people is like reading weather. You can't stop the storm, but you can see it coming. You can smell the shift in the air before it rains. You can feel tension in silence before the words even drop. Awareness is not paranoia, it's armor. And when you wear awareness quietly, the world calls it intuition. But it's not magic. It's pattern recognition. It's the predator's eye. Here's the paradox of silent power. The moment you start truly seeing people, you also start forgiving them. Because you realize manipulation, cruelty, and lies. They're all defense mechanisms of fragile minds. Everyone is protecting something, even predators. And that's where the power truly evolves. From control to understanding, from reaction to recognition. Because once you understand darkness, you stop fearing it. And when you stop fearing it, you stop being controlled by it. So, how do you read people like a predator? You stop talking. You start watching. You listen to tone, timing, and silence. You study rhythm, pattern, and pause. You let others expose their intentions while you remain still, and in that stillness, you gain something far greater than dominance. You gain insight. Because silent power is not about control over others. It's about freedom from their illusions. And when you finally master that, you'll realize the most dangerous person in any room isn't the one who speaks loudest. It's the one who sees everything and says nothing. Reflection. In a world that worships noise, silence becomes rebellion. In a world that performs honesty, awareness becomes power. So don't chase dominance, chase perception. Because those who see don't need to control. They already know how the story ends.